Welcome to IAS Project. We are continuing with the videos on Indian economy for UPSC Civil Services Exam. Let's talk about gross value added. It is also called as GVA in short form. Before understanding gross value added, let us understand what value added is. Value added is simply given by formula output minus input. This value added can apply in terms of general English definition. In terms of economics, we are mainly interested in gross value added. So let's understand both these topics with an example. Let's consider the case of a biscuit factory. In the biscuit factory, various input materials are being used so that biscuits are produced as an output. So the output is nothing but biscuits. And inputs, there are many materials which are used. Let us say wheat flour is used, salt, sugar. We can add more and all like electricity and water and any other utilities, and compensation to employees, which is nothing but salaries which are giving to the labor. And then we also have rent towards land and all other expenses. So all these are called as inputs and the output is nothing but biscuits. Let's say the value of wheat flour being used to produce certain number of biscuits is of 100 rupees, and salt of let's say 5 rupees, sugar of 5 rupees, electricity and water let's say 10 rupees, compensation to employees is let's say 50 rupees, and rent is 20 rupees. So the amount of inputs which are being used are nothing but 100, 110, 120, 170 and 190. So 190 rupees is the value of total inputs being used in the manufacture of biscuits. Let's say the value of the final biscuits is 250 rupees. This means that we have added a value of 250 minus 190, that is 60 rupees in this process. So in order to produce biscuits from all these inputs, we have added a value of 60 rupees to the 190 rupees of inputs to manufacture 250 rupees of biscuits. So 60 rupees is nothing but our value added. This is general English term or general economics term or common man term for value added. Let us understand what gross value added is. Gross value added is defined like this. In place of input, we have intermediate consumption. Now, why do we use intermediate consumption? We use intermediate consumption because certain materials like wheat flour and salt and let's say sugar, electricity and other products, these are already products which are produced by other industries. For example, wheat flour may be produced by wheat flour industry. Salt and sugar may be produced by salt and sugar industries. Electricity may be produced by power industry. And similarly, other industries may produce other inputs. So these can be final outputs. For example, you can directly go into the market and buy wheat flour. For example, let's say Ashirwad Atta packet you are buying. So this is the final product also. You may simply buy Tata salt. You may simply buy sugar also from the market. You may directly buy electricity also and use it in your homes. So all these are also final products. But for the biscuit manufacturing, these are not the final products. These are the products which are inputs being used to produce an output which is called as a biscuit. So for the biscuit industry, these are inputs and such inputs are called as intermediate consumption goods. So intermediate consumption goods means simply those goods which are being utilized in the production of another final good. However, for any other person or any other industries, these products can also be directly available in the market as final products. So this is the difference between intermediate consumption and final consumption. So biscuit is a final consumption product and all these are intermediate consumption products. These are also final consumption products for let's say households. Households means individuals like you and I who are not producing anything but who are consuming. So with this knowledge, let's go forward. GVA can be determined for any type of industry. For example, you can say GVA of iron and steel industry is this much, or you can determine GVA for a particular sector also. you can say GVA of agriculture sector in India is this much. It means that in agriculture sector, so and so gross value is being added. Similarly, you can also calculate GVA for the entire economy. Value added by entire economy is GVA of the economy. We have already discussed about factor cost, basic prices and market prices in our previous videos. Let's quickly recap what factor cost, basic prices and market prices are. Factor cost is that cost that is incurred for the production of goods and services. For example, if you are producing goods or services, then factor cost is the amount of cost that goes into production process. Remember that in the factor cost, any kind of taxes or subsidies are not included. Factor cost basically becomes the income that goes towards the factors of production. We have already talked about this and we gave a formula also in the previous videos. Factor cost is nothing but compensation towards employees plus consumption of fixed capital, which is also called as depreciation, and there is another term which is called as operating surplus or mixed income. We have called it operating surplus in case of incorporated enterprises, and we have called it mixed income in case of unincorporated enterprises. We have also seen why we call it by different names. Next, basic prices is nothing but it is the addition of factor cost plus net production taxes. Net production taxes, here net means production taxes minus production subsidies. Production taxes minus production subsidies is simply called as net production taxes. Then we also have market prices. Market prices are those prices at which the goods reach market. Market prices simply means basic prices plus net product taxes. Net product taxes, the word net here means product taxes minus product subsidies. So GVA for an entire economy or industry or a sector can be determined at factor cost, basic prices or market prices depending on what you are adding and what you are not adding. So GVA at factor cost shows the value of goods and services before the net production taxes and net product taxes are added. We already know that in case of factor cost, any kind of taxes are not added. In case of GVA at basic prices, which is generally called as GVA. For example, if someone says simply GVA, it always means GVA at basic prices. So if they specify GVA at factor cost or GVA at market prices, then it means those things. If they simply say GVA, it means GVA at basic prices. Please remember this. So GVA or GVA at basic prices shows the value of goods and services after net production taxes are added, but before product taxes are added. We already know basic prices consists of factor cost and net production taxes, not the net product taxes. Net product taxes are also sometimes called as net indirect taxes. At the last, we have GVA at market prices. GVA at market prices is nothing but market value of goods and services after addition of production taxes as well as product subsidies. And of course, adjusting for subsidies of production and subsidies of products. So why do we need to calculate GVA at different costs and prices? That is, we have factor cost, we also have basic price, and then we have market price. Why do we need to calculate GVA at these three different prices? There is a reason for that and there is a significance for that. First, let's look at what GVA at factor cost significance is. GVA at factor cost is used to compare efficiency and competitiveness of factors of production in economies. We can compare two economies, India and China. For example, let's say we are manufacturing the same mobile in India as well as China. If you are going to manufacture a mobile, you have to pay factor cost towards the factors of production. And what is that factor cost? It is nothing but compensation that is going to the employees and consumption of fixed capital and operating surplus or mixed income. Let's say the factor cost, that is the sum of all these three values for production of a single mobile in India is 10,000 rupees. And for the same mobile in China, you are manufacturing it 10,000 rupees only. Let's consider this 10,000 in rupees equivalent. So this means that the factors of production are equally efficient in both the countries. For example, if in India the mobile is manufactured at 10,000 rupees and in China it is being manufactured at 9,000 rupees. Both are same mobiles, but the factors of production are taking more money here and less money here. This means that it is better to manufacture the mobile in China compared to India because the amount which we are paying to the factors of production, that is towards land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, is less in China and more in India. This shows that China is more efficient, has more competitiveness than India. Let's go on to the next point. Relation between GVA at factor cost and GVA at basic prices shows the impact of net production taxes in the economy. Let's understand this with the same example of India and China. Let's say GVA at factor cost in India is 100 and GVA at factor cost in China is 500. This is because China is a bigger economy. Let's say GVA at basic prices in India is 110 and in China it is 600. What does this mean? Basic prices minus factor cost, we know that they are nothing but net production taxes. So net production taxes is equal to basic price minus factor cost, that is 10 in India case. In China's case, net production taxes, that is basic price minus factor cost, is 100. So if we look at percentage terms, the net production taxes in case of India will be given by this formula. BP minus FC by FC into 100. So this will give us 10%. In case of China, it will be 20%. So this shows that if you compare factor cost and basic prices GVA, India's net production taxes are at 10% and China's net production taxes are at 20%. So net production taxes in India are cheaper. So India is competitive in terms of net production taxes. Similarly, relation between GVA at basic prices and GVA at market prices shows the impact of net product taxes in economy, because we know that the difference between market prices and basic prices is nothing but net product taxes. Similarly, final relation between GVA at factor cost and GVA at market prices will give us the impact of all the taxes in the economy, that is product and production. So net product taxes and net production taxes, we can get the information by subtracting GVA at market prices and GVA at factor cost. So this is why GVA at different prices has its significance, because it gives the information about efficiency of the economy and competitiveness of the economy. It gives us the information about impact of net production taxes and impact of net product taxes, also impact of net taxes on the economy. In the case of India, GVA at basic prices is obtained by output of 11 industries. The 11 industries are given here. Agriculture, manufacturing, electricity, gas, construction, all these are included here. So what means that whatever the outputs these industries are producing, they are considered towards GVA. For example, if in agriculture, India is producing 100 million tons of wheat, this is being directly accounted in GVA, which is of agriculture industry. So by adding all the outputs of these 11 industries, we can get GVA at basic prices of entire economy. Let's understand this concept with an example. Let's look at the example problem for understanding concepts of GVA. It says that consider wheat flour manufacturing industry that produces wheat flour. The basic price of wheat flour is 80 or 80 rupees. This industry uses two inputs, which are nothing but wheat grain and electricity, whose basic prices are given here, 20 and 10 rupees respectively. Now the question is, find the GVA at basic price of wheat flour manufacturing industry. So we already know that GVA is nothing but output minus intermediate consumption. Here, in the case of wheat flour manufacturing industry, output is nothing but wheat flour. And intermediate consumption, or the goods which are being used, are in this case two, that is wheat grain is being used and electricity is being used. So we know the values for these three items. Basic price of wheat flour is given as 80. So output is simply 80 minus what is the intermediate consumption. Two inputs are taken. What are they? Wheat grain and electricity. The price are 20 and 10. So 20 plus 10. This means that 50 rupees is the gross value added at basic price of wheat flour manufacturing industry. Now, we already know that wheat grain is an output of agriculture industry. Also, electricity is the output of industry number 4. So, these both become intermediate consumption goods. I hope you have understood this problem. Now, there is a further question given. If compensation to employees is 15 rupees, that is CE or compensation to employees is 15 rupees, consumption of fixed capital is 10 rupees, consumption of fixed capital is 10 rupees, production taxes are 10 rupees, production taxes 10 rupees, production subsidies are 5 rupees. Find the operating surplus. We already know GVA at basic prices is nothing but GVA at factor cost plus net production taxes. So GVA at basic prices we have already got here, which is nothing but 50, is equal to GVA at factor cost is nothing but CE plus CFC plus OS or MI. So CE we have it as 15 plus CFC we have it as 10 plus operating surplus is not known plus net production taxes is nothing but production tax minus production subsidy. So 10 minus 5. So if we add this, we will get operating surplus as 20 rupees. So I hope you have understood this problem. Let's follow in the next video. Please like and share this video. Also subscribe to IAS Project. Thank you.